All right, everybody. Alex Tarris back with another important announcement. And in this video, you may have heard about the controversy. Maybe, maybe not. Most likely you did not hear about it. But this company, Next Wellness, you can see the logo right here. I'm sorry, some of the screen's a little bit cut off here. But Next Wellness, if you go to nextwellness.com website, I was having trouble with the website, but basically, actually, let me pull up their Instagram real quick here. So there was a lot of controversy that happened. They were known for reselling many different types of modalities, from hyperbaric pods to cryo CO2 sort of blasters for your skin, for cryo chambers, for different types of light chambers, and this dry cold plunge. They were doing quite well selling the dry cold plunge. Let's do a quick zoom in here so you can see a better, clear photo of it. So that's what it looked like. You may have seen this at the conferences and the shows and things like that. But you basically lie in there, and the water around you doesn't touch your skin because there's a membrane, and then it lowers you down. It's pretty cool with the remote control, and you can have an awesome experience. Nobody has to get wet. It's attendance free. A lot of places are doing really well with this alternative versus like the wet cold plunges, which is different. There's different challenges for sure with that then you have to deal with as a business. Anyway, so the controversy with Next Wellness is basically what happened, and you'd be very hard pressed coming by this information, but I have relationships with like 90 companies and I know all kinds of people. So I did find out what was up. I was like, where did Next go? Like, what happened? I noticed it kind of dropped off the radar in more recent times. And essentially somebody higher up in the company, or more internal, let's just say, they spent a ton of money at all the trade shows, doing sponsorships, you name it, invested a lot of money in offline marketing. They sold they had somewhere around like 100, last time I checked, they had like 100 orders. This is what I'd heard, 100 different orders for 100 of these different floats. And had taken payment for that. And then the person who had access somehow to the money took the money and ran. And nobody can find this guy. He just ran with the money. It's a tough, as a business, a growing business, that is and as a distributor, that would be a very tough situation. Very tough. Could be the end of your company. You know what I mean? More realistically. So I feel bad. I definitely feel bad. It's a crazy scenario for any company to have to deal with, especially when you're taking all those orders. Man, nightmare. So yeah, I feel bad for him for sure. But basically, that's what happened. So I don't think they're going to dig their way out of that one. So basically, if you're watching this and you had ordered one of these dry floats, and of course now you're out all that money, which, if you're creative, that might even work for some businesses as a business write-off as a loss. For some, it may help them with their taxes, but may hurt. Might be hurting you a lot though too. Everybody's different scenario. So in this video, the first thing I want to say is, we did track down, my partner and I'm on her website right now, but I did track down, there's only a couple manufacturers for these types of equipment in the world. One's in China, one's in Italy, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, so we have our own white labeled line of this. So we're doing, essentially we have been for a while, now a couple of years, doing what Next Wellness was doing. So we're just about to get an exclusive with them, and we'd be happy to sell you another one of these units. It's going to be pretty much virtually identical. White label it for you if you want to brand your own business on there. It would be a co-brand, just so it looks nice in your business. If you can give proof that unfortunately you lost money in this Next Wellness fiasco, if you can prove that to us, you will get a very, very special price. That will be a fraction of what you paid Next Wellness. Now, depending on when you purchase from Next Wellness, they kept increasing their prices like every year, all the time, maybe even like every 6 months. And I think last prices some people are getting for like $47,900. So it would be a fraction of that price if you can prove you were involved in this incident. So at least And then we'll also after some different types of financing as well, if also helpful. That way, for some of you at least, you won't have complete buyer's remorse. You can still get your hand on a great product that you could do really good ROI with. But that ROI will come a lot faster, of course, because you're not spending as much. Granted, you still have the loss, right, from Next Wellness not being able to fulfill your order. But production time is going to be anywhere right now. If you order like today or whatever, it would be like 30 to 45 days till you'd have it in your hand. I'm sorry, incorrect. Realistically, more like 45 to 60 days, although we are seeing some orders come in 30 to 45 days as well. Just kind of depends on a couple factors. And of course, if you're going to airship it, obviously that's faster than freight, on the water, by boat. But again, reach out. My email address is below in the description box of the video. Now, if you are not involved in the fiasco and you're saying, yeah, I've seen these dry floats. People are doing really well in their business with them. People love them for so many reasons. I would love to spend $29,995 versus $47,000, whatever, that Next Wellness was charging. So, the alternatives out there kept on going up in price, in other words. So we were like, well, and this was like a couple years ago, we were hatching the plan, and we're like, well, now that we discovered the main couple manufacturers, why don't we just undercut everybody? Why not? And it's just like, of course, obviously the first move, right, that a competitor would do. Because they kept increasing the price over and over and over and over and over again. And there was the only reason they were increasing the price, honestly, is because they could get away with it. That's all. Because people were spending, they were paying it, customers. So they just kept increasing it, and they kept spending more and more money on marketing, right? So they were like, all right, we need to start making more and more profit margin. So they kept increasing the price over and over and over again. So I think honestly, we have like one of the original prices. Maybe we have our set kind of where the original unit was first priced at, possibly. I'm just trying to remember now. I deal with so many companies, like 90 companies. It's all blurring together, but I think we might have been close to around where it starting price. So you're getting a price from like a couple years back or whatever it's been. Yeah, so reach out. Again, people love this for several reasons, and it also majorly reduces your business liability. Slip and falls, right? Think about it. Water, anything you're dealing with water, insurance, plumbing for your actual building, whatever facility. There's a lot of things you don't have to deal with when you do a dry float. And it's also just totally novel, right? So people are like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's so different. It's way more relaxing as well, because you're just really comfortably laying on this and floating in a way. And it's just, again, it markets really, really well as a very interesting experience. And people that will not do an actual like water cold plunge, they will not really get themselves, they don't have the willpower to do it. You know what I'm saying? It is 3 times easier to get people to do this. So much easier. So you can actually make a way better ROI if you're a business versus a wet one. Truly, you honestly can. People can stay in their comfy clothes, right? And they're just way more willing. It's so much easier to sell or include into packages. This is 100% the way to go. Honestly, I believe the dry floats, dry plunges will capture a significant market share over the next several years. And I can tell you, this is blowing up in Europe. It's doing extremely well. And the United States is just lagging behind, honestly. But it'll come over here. It will start to blow up more over here. But Europe is like, everybody's loving it. So great price. And then if you're involved in the Next Wellness fiasco, contact me and we'll work up a special situation for you. So you can recover from that loss. Again, my email address is fit4reviews@gmail.com. And like and subscribe to my video. This will help my video reach more people. Greater chance of this reaching people that were involved in the Next Wellness fiasco of 2026, I think, is when it all went down.